sometimes you gotta take the hate with a grain of salt. It's bouncing. Why are you bouncing? I worry about her mental recovery. No one to hold him, no one to fold him.
I feel like I should have folded a long time ago.
I know. It's very, very unnerving when there's just a strange person sitting outside your house waiting for you. Good afternoon. So, as you can see, we have some feet to take care of. This group is my next group to get bred here in July. And I have not taken the time yet, since I've changed my breeding schedule, to figure out a new system for all the management jobs that still need to get done. So I was like, you know what, we got rained out of the fields last night, so I'm like, I'm gonna take today, and then probably I only need another like maybe hour to do the rest of those, so I'll pick another day or afternoon that we're rained out to do the rest of this group. So I'm gonna just pick off these jobs as we're rained out, because I know they're pending, like I know they need to get done even without looking at a calendar. But once I'm done today, I think I might just sort of sketch up a new sort of system, because I am very much a systems-oriented person. I did get a new set of blades sent to me. I need Mark to figure out how to take them apart and put the new ones on. I think we're okay for today. I'm just gonna use my old blades. But whoever sent me those blades, thank you. That was so sweet. So I'm gonna just go over a couple things, because there's always a new person watching these videos. And I think a lot of people think that this is really hard on the use. And I've used this since I started. This is like my first piece of equipment I got as a sheep farmer. So this has been around since like 2012. It's a lot quicker than if I tried to get a sheep inverted to get their hooves. There are lots of sheep farmers that can do it, and they do it well, and I commend you. My body is not strong enough to maneuver these guys and get them so I can get their feet. I'm just not built that way. So this to me is just the safest way for the sheep and for me. I know it bothers people that they're upside down. They're not upside down very long. They're upside down a little longer when I'm explaining to you guys what I'm doing, but for the most part, because we've been keeping up with hoof trimming, they haven't been bad, so I've been able to get them done really quick. So this is called sort of a squeeze inversion table, if you will, and it just flips them upside down. When they are on their back, they're sort of like immobilized. and that just keeps everybody a little safer. Now they do wiggle, so you still have to be very careful, but yeah, this is what I do, and not everybody does it this way, but I promise you my sheep are much better for it because their feet do need to be done. Okay, so she's all squeezed up here. The tighter you can get her, the less she's gonna move, which is what you want. Yeah, they look pretty good actually. They're not too bad. I had someone on Instagram calling me horrible things, showing Willow in here when she got done, and also said that I'm horrible what I do to my cows. So sometimes you gotta take the hate with a grain of salt. Just got off the phone with Belinda. We were talking about lambing and feeding and all the things that us sheep farmers need to confide in each other. Some frustrations, some exhaustion. We were texting for a while and she's like, no, we need to just talk. So we talked for like the last half hour. However, I did take a second here and work on my lambing calendar since I've changed it. I've always kept track in a day planner, like one with pencil and paper. I just like to do that. I do one here and I do one in the house, but I also keep track on Excel on a spreadsheet, and I've got it back as far as, when did I start doing this? In 2017 I started doing this, so I've been doing this for quite a while now. Good for me. That's shocking. What I have here as sort of all the steps in her lambing life cycle, like a pre-breed hoof trim. I have a pre-breed chlamydia vaccine if they're a ewe lamb, a first-time ewe lamb. Then I have the cedars in, and then I have like cedars out and rams in. So those are all these are all dates when they should be scanned after that. And then I have a hoof trim after that. And that lines up with the vaccination. Unless I can squeeze another hoof trim in, I'm not sure if I can or not. So for now, they'll have 2 hoof trims between each lambing, which they had before. And then of course we have when they lamb and then when they wean. So that's sort of their life cycle. So the only place that I could maybe move this up a bit, or maybe fit one more in, is after they're weaned. Now today's hooves were pretty good, so I feel like we're on top of it and I probably don't have to add another one in, but I also haven't gone a whole cycle, like a whole year in this new cycle. So I think I need to sort of just keep evaluating as I run them through. And if the hooves look like they're overgrowing, I need to add one more in, and I think that's when it will be. It'll be in that post-wean area, which also could align maybe with a ewe evaluation, like the weaning post-wean ewe evaluation. That's sort of what I gotta figure out as we move forward with this lambing group, but I just wanted to like brain dump with you guys as to what I want to do. Good morning. We are on our way out to the fields this morning. Mark was able to work a little bit of ground yesterday, but he is heading down to his dad's, which we have strip tilled. So it's ready to get planted, so he's headed out right now with the planter. I'm right behind him with the joker, and I'm going to be right across the road at another field. And we had to work this field in the fall. Because we tiled this field, so field tile, water drainage, 2 years ago, and it's really, really rough. You have to work a field after you've tiled it because it leaves like huge lumps and bumps in your field. So we had to work it for a few years to get it smoothed out, and then hopefully over the next couple years we'll be able to transition to strip till. He started it yesterday, so I'm just, again, going to be going diagonally and then coming in right behind and going up and down the field, and then it will be ready for him to plant. I'm not sure how far he's going to get today because his dad's field is 86 acres, and then he's coming home and planting where I worked here before the rain on Tuesday night. He worked it a second time last night, so I think he's going to do his dad's and then do behind the barn and then go do where I am working this morning later today. It is much, much later. I wanted to get the diagonal passes done before I turn on the camera. However, they were much better in this field because I remembered in the fall, the reason why this field is so much smoother is we didn't rip it. What we did is we used this joker in the fall, which makes things really smooth. And the only reason we had to use this is we had to spread manure very late in the fall, so after the soybeans came off. And we usually spread manure after wheat ground. But because we tiled this field, everything is like out of order. It's bouncing. Why are you bouncing? Do I have a stone? I wonder if I have a stone. Hold please. I checked our friend, but there was no stones, so I might have just been in a rough patch in this farm. I don't know. I get nervous when the machine starts hopping. You need to check it because there's typically a stone or something lodged in it. Yeah, so it's going much better. We are on our second pass, just starting it, so we're going up and down, and this is the last pass before Mark has to come and plant this. But he's still got a few acres in front of him before he gets here, so I have time. This is like an between 80 and 85 acre field, I think. It's about the same size as the one he's at, so it's gonna be a big day if he gets both farms done today, but they're calling for rain again, so. Thought I would show you the monitor. So this is me. I don't like that one. This one? There we go. So this is me, and we have to sort of, can you see that? We have to skip a pass, and then I'll go back and do it. It's just too tight of a turn for this unit to get in really nice and straight on the end. So yeah, there's me down too. I'm very sad as well, and you'll probably see me a little more because I also just finished not only a huge book, but a series that I've been reading for like since the new year, I think. So it's the Throne of Glass series, and I just finished Kingdom of Ash, and I'm so sad. I wanted this to like last, but I couldn't quit reading / listening to it. So I was saving it for field work, and as soon as I turned it on last week, I'm like, I haven't turned it off. So now I'm really sad because I feel like they were my family. Now I have to find a new series to obsess over. I've done Akatar already, and now this one. She has another one called Crescent City, but I'm on the fence. Some people don't love it, so I'm not sure if I want to read it now or not. You guys are gonna be so sick of me today because now I don't have my book to read, so you're stuck with me. All right, well, my intuition was right. Mark got me on the radio and asked how it was going here, and I said, I feel like it's hopping. And I said, but I checked it for stones and everything looks okay. And he said, stop right there, I'm coming down, I want to check the levels to make sure everything is okay. Sure enough, it was running a bit deep in the middle, he thought, so he has just made some adjustments that he's never showed me how to do, or else I would have done them. I can do this stuff, if I did it all the time. And the problem with me is I don't really retain a lot unless I do it over and over and over. It's got to be very repetitive for me. So when I do it now this spring and I don't do it again until next spring, I won't remember a lot of stuff. So what I did retain from last year is I remember it was power hopping. And at the time I was like, I remember the tractor was bogging down and I knew there was something going on with it, but I didn't want to bug Mark. And then when I rolled, I could really feel it with the roller. And he's like, should you tell me something? I'm like, what? And he's like, how was that joker when you were going across? I'm like, it was hopping. And he's like, you gotta let me know when it's hopping. So thankfully he came down and made some adjustments, but it's actually not hopping. It's the tile runs from a couple years ago, still sort of really bumpy. I gotta give this camera a break because it's starting to hurt my arm. Today's gonna be a little bit of a longer day because I'm not sure how long I'm gonna be in the fields. And then Jess got a call yesterday. Her oncologist has been trying to get her in for a CT scan, another CT scan, even though she had a clear one in November. They called her yesterday and said, we got you in for tomorrow. And Jess is like, great, because she's doing plots right now for her summer job. So they're really busy right now too. And it's at 10 o'clock tonight in London. We're not gonna be home probably in bed till like midnight tonight. Jess could go by herself, but I'm like, I want to go with her. Just, it's a long drive at night if she's tired. And she's a bit short this morning, so I'm wondering if she's stewing, because Jess is always very, very happy and easygoing. Now, she's not a morning person, and she was running late, so that could be part of it, but I worry about her mental recovery. Like, her physical recovery is doing very well, but mentally I just see little hints of trauma, and rightly so. We just make sure we ask her if she's okay and if there's anything she wants to talk about, but I give all cancer patients and survivors just all the credit in the world, because the toll, the mental toll and the physical toll it takes on you is just unbelievable. We are approaching a year almost that she began chemo. May 29th is the day, so we also feel that looming. And yeah, we've got someone in front of the train tracks here that I have to move. Okay, it's a lot later now. I've moved to my last field of the day. I'm hoping to get this done before I gotta leave. It's 6. I gotta be out of the house by 8 to be in London by 9. But we had a little, not an incident, it's not a big deal, but we don't really talk about it a whole lot on the channel. But I do get emails and I do get requests for like farm visits, farm tours, like one-on-ones from people I just don't know. I don't know a lot, like I don't know any of my viewers, like personally. I definitely let people I know come with their kids and family members, like people that I know in my community. Anyway, someone showed up this afternoon. Just a sec, I gotta turn, then I'll get back to the story. Yeah, Mark pulled in to the house to fill up with seed. We are not home right now, we're elsewhere in fields, and we're really busy and we're really stressed thanks to the weather and just like really shrunk windows of getting stuff done. And there's just the two of us. And anyway, he went home and there was someone there because they follow me on YouTube, and it's very, very unnerving when there's just a strange person sitting outside your house waiting for you. I'm not really sure why they were there. I think they were there to learn more about sheep. So Mark was good. He gave them Ontario Sheep's website and he said, go there. And honestly, that's where I got all my information when I was starting to sheep farm. And then again, I took the Master Shepherds program through Ontario Sheep. And that is literally why I'm still a sheep farmer. I learned everything I know through that course, through my vet, and then through some peers that I've, you know, made association with online or at conferences and stuff. So I do ask and beg people, please don't just come unannounced, especially if we don't know you. We don't know what your intentions are. We get really nervous. We're very private people. And the one thing about the YouTube channel, the one thing that will make me quit is if I feel unsafe or I feel like our privacy is being breached. So anyway, I love you guys, but also, like, if you just had people show up unannounced and you didn't know who they were and they were just parked outside your house, it's very unnerving. Unless you're an Amazon driver, and then it's cool because you're bringing me stuff. But yeah, anyway, I got to keep going here, but I thought I would just pass that on. I get a lot of emails and I don't respond because we don't do that. So you just get me here on a screen. Good morning, everyone. Late night last night. We didn't get back from Jess's CT scan until 11:30 maybe, so showered, went to bed. The one good thing about being the last scan of the day, there was no one there, so that was pretty good. The thing with the CT scan, the one that Jess has to do, she has to, and maybe this is with all CT scans, I have no idea, thankfully I've never had to have one, but she has to drink this really disgusting like orange drink. She said it's like drinking melted orange Tic Tacs, which is graphic. They give her like 45 minutes to drink that, and it's a big one. It's like a large McDonald's cup worth. And then right before she goes in, she gets an IV of like a dye that goes through your body, and she said the instant burn that you feel when it's like going through your body is like, it's next level. She's like, it does feel like internally someone's lit a match inside her. So she's become a bit of an expert. This is her like 4th or 5th CT scan, unfortunately. She's a bit mentally fatigued. It was sort of a last minute call, even though she's been on the books to get a CT scan for like a while. Everything just happened really fast. So whenever stuff medically happens really fast, it puts us back into that very traumatic time when she was sort of an emergency and everything just happened. Last year, everything happened so friggin' fast. Everything was rushed, you know, rushed CT scans, rushed surgeries, everything was rushed. And so anytime we feel that little hint of chaotic time crunches, we both get anxious, her more so. Anyway, we had a good chat on the way home and I think she's doing all right. Today we are in another field. This field was not supposed to be destined for corn. We've run into a bit of an issue with cover crops this year. We had planted them on a field that is just notoriously wet, and we never got in there in the fall to terminate the oats that we planted for cover crops, and what's happened is they have grown so much. So it was destined for corn, so we've had to do some switching around, and now this field and the field behind this tree lot here, it's sort of one field, but we have a creek running in between it. We've changed it now from soybeans into corn. So we weren't gonna work this, but I have to now to get it okay for corn. So yeah, cover crops is a big part of our system now, and it's really helping with our soils. But that rented farm, we just have to be very careful with decisions made there because they're very weather restricted. Decision making over there is challenging. We were talking about it over breakfast again as to what we should do there next year, and it's always one of those fields where we're happy to have it in a dry year because it retains water, but in a wet year you sometimes get stuck. Well, I'm gonna unfold this and get to work because I have a lunch date today, a belated birthday with some girls that I never get to see. So I'm gonna take a couple hours at lunch and go see them.
Kevin calling from Ernwine, issued the building permit.
Oh, that's awesome.
So he's actually talking about maybe doing footings next week.
Okay.
Which is fine, as long as Matt can dig the footings.
I just got back from a glorious lunch. My friends are also my social conveners. If they left it up to me, I would never see them. So my good friend Julia had booked this like a month ago. She's like, do you want to do lunch for your birthday? There's a really nice spot in town that we were not the only ladies in there. I think it was just table after table were full of ladies, either probably venting or gossiping. It was lovely. It was just a nice little break, and now I'm back at the field. I did not get finished. I did get started it. And then Mark just messaged me and said our building permit went through, so our builders want to come like as early as next week to do footings. And our boys that are doing our excavating, they also farm, so they're trying to get their field work done. We've had quite a few loads of fill brought in, but we still got quite a ways to go if they want to start pouring footings next week. I snuck out of my tractor and jumped on Mark's tractor because I'm sort of caught up. For now, we're not sure what we're going to do in my last field. You might wait till after the rain.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like sometimes we got rain coming in like this. If you work the ground too fine, it takes too long to dry out afterwards because you kind of beat the air out of it.
Yeah.
So as it sits right now, it's kind of in a good spot that if we get rain and we actually hit it with a little bit of moisture in it, it probably would work out quite nice. So it's sometimes you just gotta know when to hold them.
Know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
I feel like I should have folded a long time ago.
I know. We're getting tired, and it's only day 4, but when you know you got a tight window, it's just very stressful in your brain. I just feel like you're always under pressure.
Like Atlas, the weight of the world on your shoulders.
I'll take a little clip of this, but we're in the field that we had to walk away from, the oats cover crop that went crazy. This field is not usually this crazy productive, but the year that we didn't want it there, it's like a jungle. So anyway, I just thought I would show you guys. I don't know if this camera will pick it up or if I should do it on my phone.
Normally, oat cover crop dies.
It dies in the winter, so that shows you we did not have a hard winter. Because it looks like you planted that this spring.
Yeah, less than ideal.
Less than ideal. Let's see if I can get it. There we go. Back there. Green as grass. Green as oats. Well, riddle me this. My GPS has been working really good all day, all evening. I actually did come back and work this little field here where Mark is. We were gonna leave it, but he said for how much seed he has, it's gonna work if I just did this one little piece of this field. The field's sort of in 2 and this is just a little corner. Anyhow, he's been really struggling with his GPS, and I brought him my sort of modem thing here, and he said now it's working. He was talking to another farmer, a friend of ours, and he said actually they've issued a big solar flare warning, so like a big magnetic storm that's interfering with people's GPS. So anyway, I have been just running around trying to get to him situated, and then he said now it's working okay. So that's typically what happens. He issues an SOS, and then by the time I get to him, he's fine.